Hello guys, so today we're on Heredia because we're going on the mountains to go to see a wildlife refuge which is called Cerro Dantas. But right here we just made a stop to show you guys this beautiful church which is in San Rafael. This church is one of the really few churches in Costa Rica with a neo-Gothic style, and this one was made on 1886, and I just want to show you guys this church is beautiful. And right now we're gonna go to the mountain, so we're gonna go in the middle of a beautiful nature, and that's what I want to show you guys up. So let's go there and let's see how it looks like when we get there. Alright guys, so now we're on the entry of this wildlife refuge. We're not on the wildlife refuge yet. We're on the entry of the trails that are going to take us to the wildlife refuge. This wildlife refuge is called Cerro Dantas, and that means Tapir's Hill. So even though the name of this place is Tapir's Hill, it's not like we're gonna see a lot of tapirs here, because even though this is one of the places in Costa Rica with tapirs the most per square kilometer, it's not like we're for sure gonna see them, because they usually don't show up to people. And well, this place, the reason why there's a lot of tapirs in this area is because the limit of this place, of this wildlife refuge, it's with the National Park Braulio Carrillo, and this is one of the biggest national parks in Costa Rica and one of the most protected areas. So this is a really wild place, the national park. So there's a lot of biodiversity in that place, though that makes this place's wildlife refuge has a lot of biodiversity as well. And one of the animals that it has the most is the tapirs. But as I said, it's not like we're gonna see them for sure. We're probably not gonna see them because they just don't show up to people. But the main reason why we're here is because we're gonna go hiking on a really wild place, and that's what I want to show you guys. There is a difference between being here in a national park, and we're going to talk about that later. But this place is wild, and we're going to see it. The trails are not going to be like really comfortable, and this place is going to feel like a real natural place. So we're really going into a natural mountain, which is like pretty virgin, and that's the idea of this video. So we're gonna go hiking on a really natural place, and that's what I'm gonna show you guys. So let's go to see how this place looks like. Okay, thing I want to talk to you guys about is that same as the last place we visited, which was Paul's Volcano National Park, the forest in this place is qualified as deciduous. And there's a little difference between here and that place, because as long as that was a volcano, we saw that there are some trees that they lose their leaves because of the volcano activity with the ash. So here, as long as this is a mountain, we don't have that difference. So here is always going to be like super green, and this is a humid tropical forest, so there's always humidity here enough to keep like this place super green. And this place, it's a primary and secondary forest. There is a big difference between a primary and secondary forest, and that's why this is such an important place for the world. The primary forest is basically a forest that is never been touched by the human. So a primary forest can be a forest that has been growing up for even thousands of years. So that makes a place really important, and that makes an ecosystem that creates a whole ecosystem in that place, which is really hard to find. So we don't have like many places like this in the world. That's why they're so important. And the secondary forest, of course, is a forest that has been touched by the human. So as long as they cut the trees and destroy the forest, if we try to have that forest again, the trees restart going up, and the ecosystem restarts going up again. So
that is the difference. A primary forest can be really old and hard to find because as long as it's been taking even thousands of years to be formed, this is really unique forest. But this one, it's quite different because in Costa Rica, that is the thing. We were talking about that on the last video, but here in Costa Rica, many of the forests were destroyed for a long time, and as long as we just decide to make a huge change, most of the Costa Rican forest, it's a secondary forest because we're now working on that and we're now taking care of nature. So now this forest has been growing up for a few years, which is makes it a secondary forest, and it's created an ecosystem. So a place like this, we have the secondary forest, but mixed with a primary forest, which is really important. And the reason why we have that primary forest is that as long as we're really close to this national park, which is called Braulio Carrillo, that place is really wild and the nature is just really pure. So that's why even as long as we're close to that place, even here we have some primary forest as well. So that's another reason why this place is like really important.
It's important to know that there is a difference between a place like this and a national park. The thing is that most of the national parks in Costa Rica, the government takes care of it. So in the national parks, you feel the comfort because there's a lot of trails pretty well done, and there's a lot of bathrooms and a lot of things that makes you feel like comfortable. The thing is that in a place like this, which is a wildlife refuge, it's a really natural place. So the trails, even though there are trails, it doesn't feel like that comfort that you feel in a national park. So walking here, you really feel like you're in the middle of nature, and it can feel a little wild. So that's something that we're going to see on this trip. It feels wild because we're literally walking in the middle of the nature, in the middle of the mountain, and that's a really cool thing, by the way. But you don't feel that comfort that you feel in a national park. But it's a nice difference. It's not something bad at all, but it's just important to know that it feels a little wild and the trails can be a little complicated for hiking, but that makes you feel like you're literally in the middle of the nature. So that's a really cool thing.
This is more of this that I'm talking about, that a place like this, which is a wildlife refuge, is different than a national park because this place can be like really natural, and even reaches like this can be like a little wild. So the difference between a place like this and a national park is that, as I said, the government takes care of the national park, so it's not going to be like so wild like this. But again, this makes you feel like you're in a really adventure in a wild place and a natural place. So it can be like like really wild. Just look at this. This holes are we're in a high place, so feels really natural, and it feels a little wild. Just look at this holes. finally arriving to the wildlife refuge. He's up there. So in this area, we can have a little picnic, which is what we're gonna do now. Because to get here, you gotta walk for like around an hour. And then here we have some more trails. One is for like about 2 hours. The other one's like an hour. And we're gonna go to see some waterfalls and all the nature in this area. Now we're gonna have this picnic. The entry on this place, once you get here, it's 2,500 colones, which is like $5. And now we can go to the waterfalls and all the things here. But first, we're gonna have this picnic. Today I'm coming with my friends and some family as well. So we're about to have the picnic, and then we're gonna go to make the trails. We finally got to the waterfall. Let's get a little closer so we can see it better. So we finally arrived to the waterfall. This waterfall is called Velo de Novia, and we're really thinking about getting to the water. The thing is that as long as this is a mountain, the water is pretty cold. So we're thinking about it. We're probably going to do it. This is going to be like a little challenge, but we're going to try to get in the water. All right, guys, it was actually really cool. It was cold, it was freezing, but it feels really good to get in. But I have to say it's cool. It's like really, really cool. All right, so that was the biggest waterfall in this wildlife refuge. So now we're gonna go on some more trails. They are a little longer, and there is another waterfall, like Twins Waterfalls, they call it like that. So we're gonna go to see them, but they're not as big as this one, the first one. But we'll go to see how they look like. Something we can see in a forest like this is this kind of plants. These plants are qualified as plants, hostile plants. The hostile plants are the kind of plants that they live in the tree without affecting the tree. So this is their ecosystem basically. So they live here in the tree, but they never affect it. Because we have another plant which is called parasite. Parasite plants are the ones that they also live in the tree, but they do affect the tree. So they're basically slowly killing the tree. So there's a big difference between them. But these ones are really good because they're just hostiles and they're not affecting it. This is going to be intense. This is going to be really, really intense. But it's part of the adventure. And that makes it really good.
Se cayó. Bien, mi amor. Es parte de la expedición. Mira, más bien yo casi no me embarré, culo.
These are the small twin waterfalls. This is one of them. And there we have the other one. Okay, so we're finally back in the wildlife refuge. It is wild till the end. So here we are. Alright guys, so here's where we end up this video. It was a lot of fun, and it is a really natural place if you ever want to come. And I really hope you guys like these videos ever, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and give a comment and give us a like. Bye.